song. Pretend there's DMX, everybody. Okay, go for it. Hello, Insanies, and welcome to the second episode of Meanspiration. Or maybe we're going to release these at different times. Who fucking knows? This could be the first one, the third one, the 69th. I said 69. Anyway, we go there. I'm Annie Lederman. I'm here. I got Brenton on the God mic over here.
Hello.
He's not allowed to be on camera yet.
I got a face for radio.
He's got a cute little face, but I don't want you guys to think we're dating because he looks like a lesbian. Now, today we're going to talk about a bunch of things. I've had a pretty angry week. I'm trying to handle my anger, but it's a challenge. It's a fucking challenge. Now, when I think about my anger, it's usually something that I'm projecting onto someone else. I am not seeing the full story, and I am guessing what's happening. So a good example of that is I was driving on Sunset Boulevard and towards Los Feliz from Hollywood, and a man was trying to race me. He was to my right. He was trying to race me. He had a Scion car, one of those box cars, which is already, I think, punishable by death. It was orange colored. It was orange. Or I should say orange, because I'm from Philly. I shouldn't abandon my accent. An orange car. And so I hated him already. And he was driving really fast. Each light we got to, he would speed up and he would try to race me. And I said, fuck this shit. And I kept racing him, getting so mad, couldn't believe he wouldn't stop. And then he took a right into the children's hospital. And I realized Brenton, he wasn't racing me. He was racing against the clock. He probably hadn't looked over at me. He was probably giving a 3-finger CPR to a dying child in the passenger seat. I had completely created this entire story that this man wanted to run me off the road, wanted to do all this stuff. He was just having a medical emergency for a child. So that's an example of maybe think it through, bitch, take a breath. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, is it worth it besides that to race the guy?
Well, yes. Ego-wise, it felt fun. It did feel fun. But, you know, in the end, that sort of adrenaline it's not worth it. There's a come down. There's a come down. And, you know, I could have just ended the rage at why the fuck does this guy have one of those box cars in orange? But instead, I had to really go there. So I took something personally. The guy had no clue who I was. And so these are the things I'm trying to work on. I also try very hard to not be mad in traffic. Do you have road rage?
I get it. I mean, it's hard not to in LA.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone drives like an asshole here, so you have to stay on your toes. And, you know, thank God people can't hear what you're actually saying about them in your car.
Yeah. I mean, I would really like to see who feels what about the N-word and then also have a recorder in their car. Do you remember that show on MTV that they had a hidden camera and it would catch people singing along to music?
Mm-mm.
Like their friend or their daughter or someone would pimp them out, and then MTV would put a hidden camera on their dashboard and they would catch them singing along to the lyrics. If you had done that to one of my family members, whoo, it would have been a different show. It would have been a different show in traffic.
It would have been called The News.
It would have been called, yeah, it would have been called, oh wow, these people aren't what we thought they were. All right, what else did I want to talk about? I saw Joey Coco Diaz at the Comedy Store the other day, and he gave me shit about, he said, don't wear your hat. He goes, don't wear that hat. Don't wear your glasses. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, you're a beautiful girl. You got exotic cheekbones. You know, Joey Coco Diaz, the poet. And so he told me to do all these things, not to wear my props and stuff. So to that, I want to say, Joey Coco Diaz, I know you're not watching, but where the fuck would I want? I was like, what are you talking about? Are you out of your mind? This is great. You don't think this is hot? That's your problem. Look, I watch Elton John live videos all day. I'm trying to Elton John this bitch, okay? I'm trying to be my biggest, my brightest, my craziest. I can't be listening to Joey Coco Diaz tell me that I have exotic cheekbones. I gotta be out being myself. I'm too busy. I don't even think he knows about the sword. I was like, do you know I have a sword? You're worried about the hat. The hat is like nothing. But also, I like the hat because, you know, they always say, dress like the guys you want to fuck. So I dress like a skater. That's actually not true anymore. I did used to bang skaters. I'm over it now. Keep your skateboards. I want a man with a house. But what else? I just thought of that. I am doing a photo shoot later that I thought you might like, Brenton. I have to go before I am going to take this off, but it's not because Joey told me to, even though you're cool, Joey. Thank you for talking to me.
What's the photo shoot?
The photo shoot is I have to leave here and immediately go pick up 15 bags of Funyuns. And I'm meeting up with Troy Conrad's, one of the best photographers in Los Angeles and maybe the world. We're going to recreate the image from American Beauty where the rose petals are all over the girl, but with Funyuns.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think we're on to something, and I think it's going to be a hit. I'm getting my website together, fixing that up. I'm getting my merch together, so you guys will be able to get merchandise. We'll set up a Patreon.
And to see your stand-up date.
Yeah, and you can see my tours, my stand-up dates, all that stuff all together. And it'll be great. So I'm getting excited.
Annie is getting her life together, and before you know it, you're going to have that kitchen table that you really, really want.
I'm getting my life together. Brenton's right. I'm going to have my kitchen table. I'm going to have maybe some bedside tables. It's really annoying.
Let's not get crazy. Kitchen table, we'll start there.
But do you know how annoying it is to have no bedside tables? Do you know what an annoying life it is to have to... I have to get out of bed. First of all, the bed I got is insane. I went from living on a couch and living out of my car to having one of those like grandparent, like it's like an old person, like you can, it's like a sleep number, like it goes up and down. So it's like really tall and it moves like a hospital bed kind of. And so I have that, which is very comfy and cool.
Can I make a recommendation?
Yeah.
Heaven and Sandy send you something through Amazon. Use the box.
What does that mean?
Turn the box upside down. Now it's a table. Put it by your bed.
Oh, if you guys send me something, I can use the box
you get
as a
gift,
table.
And then you get a table.
Okay, that's way trashier than I thought. You could also just send me a table. I think it's there's a weird line for me with the getting things sent to you. I always, when I ask for presents, I mean like swords, nunchucks, fun things to hang behind me while I podcast. When it comes to things you need, it does feel like prostitution.
Yeah, I mean, it's charity, basically.
It feels like weird prostitution. So I do want to get it set up where, maybe I don't know. Just send me weird things. Like I talked to my live feed, some of you guys may have heard it, about there was this blow up doll I used to have in college named Judy. My twin brother gave her to me for my 17th birthday. I had a friend in high school who shall remain nameless, but we'll just call her Cunt. We'll just call her Cunt for this sake, okay? I got her a mug. She used to fuck all my boyfriends, and I would plant guys in her head. It was a very small school. I would pick the ugliest guy in school and I'd be like, Tyler is very hot. She would fuck him within days, like the week done, dude. She had sat on that ugly ass dick. She just had a thing with me. So my brother, on my 17th birthday, my parents were the parents that let us have parties. They're party parents, inappropriate. It's a nightmare. I can't believe we really are doing well. It's pretty incredible. And I love my parents. They did their best, but goddamn, they were crazy. So they would buy us kegs and stuff. So we got our 17th birthday. We had a kegger. And I wake up so hungover in the morning to something hitting me, something light hitting me. And I just kind of was like, get the fuck out of my room, Max. And I slammed the door, went back to bed, woke up. I found this naked blow up doll. And it was a blow up doll. Her name was Judy. They have the Judy doll online. You can see it. She has no holes, so she's just strictly a pool toy. And she's just for like bachelor parties, bachelorette if you're a lesbian parties. And so he had thrown her at me, and there was she was naked, but there was a note stuck to her, and it said, "Here, Annie, now you finally have a best friend that can't have sex with all your boyfriends. Love, Max." Which is fucking hilarious. My brother has gotten me, he's not like he doesn't give presents often, but when he does, they're so good. Another time I opened up my mailbox when I was living in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I had a dog at the time, a little Lhasa Apso, who is dearly departed. The bitch is dead. We killed her. We fucking killed her. We stabbed her with a needle and she's fucking dead. Is that weird we do that? Anyway, we killed the bitch. But before she was dead, she's a very cute little dog. I wake up one morning, my brother goes, check your mail. I go, he sent me a package. It was a Michael Vick jersey for my dog. He's good. He's good, my brother. He's so fucking good. I don't know that I've ever given him that good of a present. I got him once, were from Philly and they're big sports fans. My brothers, I got my brothers Eagles colored Nike Air Max 90s. So that was kind of nice. But anyway, so I had this blow up doll. And so when I went to college, the College of Santa Fe, my college went out of business 2 times. I don't know if you guys know that. It went out of business 2 times. Then it came back again and then it burned to the ground. So that is my education level. And if you do want to say that you graduated you didn't go to college and you want a degree, you can just say you went to the College of Santa Fe and nobody will know. So congratulations, graduates. So anyway, so I had this blow up doll and I carried her around with me all freshman year, and I her name was Judy, so I just kept the name. I put her in different outfits. We'd hang out on the quad. She was my roommate. I told people she majored in movement. I mean, I went strong. I went hard. And so everyone that I was friends with later, years later, maybe sophomore year, maybe my 5th year of being a senior, they were like, oh, we hated you so much when you first came to college because you had that blow up doll. I was like, how much attention does she need? And it's like, obviously a lot, And it was weird. They're like, we hated you freshman year. And I was like, that was when you guys were my friends, though. We were already friends. You were my friend group. So I guess the moral of the story is, Joey Coco Diaz, you don't think I should wear a hat? How about when I drag a blow up doll around? I've always had props. This is how I roll. Do I like attention? It's my favorite thing on earth. It was just my birthday. I told people, don't send me presents, just compliment me and give me attention. But also send presents if you want to the Comedy Store. But yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's the type of present I want. I want a blow up doll. I want things like that. I don't want anything sexual. I don't want things that I can use. I just want funny, cool things that I can hang up and will make the podcast look cool. You know what I'm saying? And yes, we're doing a wide so you can see that I have no guest. I'm lonely. I got one person to do my podcast. So, no, we got some good guests coming up. I'm just figured we could do a semi-solo.
Dwell on the positives.
Listen, I'm happy. I'm thrilled. I'm very, very happy. Was I molested my entire life? Yes. Did it get me to be a comedian? Yes. Would I trade it? No. Honestly, if I knew the currency to my joy and happiness was the jizz of a teacher in high school, I would have taken buckets of teacher cum. Buckets of teacher cum. I'd have a Netflix special right now. Do you understand that? I just took a little dribble behind the knee. That's not... Like if I had gotten like loads and loads... Dude, watch out, Ali Wong. Move over, bitch. Oh my God. Anyway, what else do I want to talk about? I had some notes. Okay. I don't know where they went. Were they ever on this? I have so many notebooks. Having ADD is a real treat. I never know what's happening. I talked about Joey. Nope, that's not. This is fun. Let's keep this part in. Now, are we going to be able to put DMX music in, or should we save that for another one? Because I have a DMX story, but I can wait for that one. Okay. So we'll do it next. Oh, we can't?
It's getting real dangerous out there.
Oh my God, that's so cute. Your life is so different than mine. It's getting dangerous. All the pirates. So this week, Dennis Quaid came to the Comedy Store. Were you there, Brenton?
Yes.
Okay, did you talk to him?
I did not.
I talked to him for a second because I've hung out with him before. I went up to him and I was like, hey, I hung out with you. I partied with you and we sang songs in the band Train's hotel room in New York City. And he went, oh my God, I remember that. So my friend Anthony DeVito, who's a comic in New York, there's 2 of them. He's the younger one. He was on some Access Live show and the band Train saw him on there and became huge fans of his and wanted to blow him up. The band Train were like Drops of Jupiter, those ones. So they were like, we want to help this kid, Anthony DeVito, become a huge star. They probably got him like 5 followers. Anyway, Train, if you're listening, big fan. So I was in New York shooting the show Girl Code. This was like 5 years ago. And my friend Mad Dog Mattern, who goes by James now. It's weird when you go by the name Mad Dog and then you're just James all of a sudden, by the way. I was like, the whole time I could have just called you James. You didn't give me another option other than Mad Dog? Wow. Anyway, Mad Dog and I did a show at Gotham Comedy Club, and I was going uptown to stay in the hotel to wherever that area is, Times Square area. And he goes, I'm going up there to see Anthony DeVito. He's with Train. Now, Mad Dog, very funny comic. He speaks nonsense a lot. So I didn't understand what he meant. Anthony's with Train. I didn't think the band Train. So I was like, oh, I want to see Anthony. So we go to this really fancy hotel and we walk into the bar, and there is the band Train with Anthony DeVito. And you don't realize you know who the band Train is until you see the band Train. And then you're like, oh, fuck, that's Train. They're so recognizable. It's the craziest. You wouldn't even think it, but the lead singer, Pat, he's ingrained in your head from that fucking Drops of Jupiter music video. So I sit down with them, and we have a pretty good time. They're progressively drinking more. Things are getting crazy, but it's just me, Anthony, Mad Dog, and Train. And then all of a sudden stumbles over Dennis Quaid. Now, I want to say he had his shirt off, but he didn't, but it does feel, that was the vibe. He could have been shirtless at that point. So I think he might have gotten shirtless at some point. I remember that, but I don't want to add that, and that's not what happened, but anyway, he stumbles over, and I didn't know this about famous people. They had seen each other in the elevator earlier, and when famous people meet each other, they're just automatically friends, I guess. They're just in a club together. So they just had this rapport. They started talking about their planes and stuff. I was eating the peanuts because I was so hungry, the free peanuts. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe these guys are talking about their planes. And then at some point, they go, Dennis, you jam, right? And he said, yeah. And they go, why don't we go up to our hotel room and jam together? So all of us, this motley crew, we go up to one of the band members' hotel rooms. There's an acoustic guitar. Dennis Quaid plays Gin and Juice on acoustic guitar. I couldn't believe it. I was white knuckling my phone. I was like, the fact I can't fucking record this, because I just would have ruined the hang. It was perfect. I was the only girl. Everyone was being very respectful. They kept asking about our careers. They respected comedy. They couldn't believe that we were comedians, how great that is. Everyone felt like equals. Nobody felt like a groupie. It was so fun. I don't know that much music, and every song that they played, that we all sang, I knew every lyric to. It just happened to be a song. It was Take It Easy by the Eagles we sang. I mean, there were just endless amounts of songs. We were just singing so much and having such a good time. And then I had to go because I had to shoot in the morning. So I was like, all right, guys, thank you so much for such a good night. It was perfect evening. They asked me for my info because they want to come see a show. They give me their card. They're like, you got to come see us when we're at the Hollywood Bowl. I was like, this is so cool. It's so weird. I'm friends with Train. I hugged Dennis Quaid goodbye. It's the perfect evening. And then right as my hand gets on the doorknob, the lead singer, Pat, goes, wait. And I turn around and he goes, why don't you fuck him? And he points at their road manager, and it just ruined the whole thing. I took my purse, I threw it on the ground. I was like, I thought you respected me, Train. Fuck you, Train. And I slammed the door and I left. And Anthony texted me. He goes, remember when Train turned into Train last night? It was really funny. Remember when all of a sudden they were Train again? And I was so pissed at them, and I was like, they ruined this perfect story. So then, I always had kind of a chip on my shoulder about them. And then a year later, I was at Bumbershoot, a festival that has music and comedy at it in Seattle. And it was raining, and me and a couple other comics we couldn't find the comic cafeteria. So we went to one of the music artists' cafeteria, and they weren't going to let us in. They had it catered. It was really nice. They weren't going to let us in, but then they realized it was raining and we couldn't find it. So they finally let us in, and we walk in, and who is there but fucking Train? I went, oh my God, I have beef with you. And I threw my bag down. They're like, oh my God, we didn't think we were going to see you again. And we took selfies, and it was really funny and cool. And now we follow each other on Twitter. So that was a long story, but
it's a good story.
It was one of my good ones. So anyway, when I saw Dennis Quaid, all of those feelings came flooding back, and it was cool to see him. Hugh Jackman's been there. You know who came to the Comedy Store a couple months ago? Kevin Spacey.
Did he really?
Yeah, he came, and it wasn't summer and hot yet, but it was hot enough for him. He was wrapped in a scarf. I know he wasn't wearing sunglasses, but he had a hat, but it was Kevin Spacey. I think he came to see Theo.
Was it before or after everything?
After. It was after everything. He came, he sat in the back in the OR. It was so exciting.
Wow.
It was really exciting. Pretty fucking cool.
Kind of glad I wasn't there that night.
Why? You would have gotten molested because you look like such a youngin'?
Maybe.
All right. Do we have any stories we want to talk about?
Yeah, I got some topics
enough.
for you. Some fun stuff. Speaking of being broke, you're not this broke. Are you familiar with Adrian Peterson? He's a running back in the NFL. In 2012, he was the league's most valuable player. In his career, he's earned over $100 million, but it just came out that he's actually about $5.6 million in debt because he's made a lot of bad investments. He trusted the wrong people, and he got taken advantage of. So he has no money, and he has to play. You got to understand, Annie, I know you're not a football person, but running backs don't last very long. They maybe go 3 seasons. He's got to go now into his, I believe, 13th or 14th season because he has to earn the money.
And are they going to still have him back? Or is
yeah,
there a
he's under
chance?
contract for 1 more year, and it's to make about the amount of money. If he hits every bonus...
So he'll be even?
He'll be even, yeah. So he
and he's
has
going to have
play.
CTE.
Probably.
Probably if he's playing longer than all of them. He's definitely
playing
going to
longer than most running backs. He's going to have like bad knees, bad back, because you got to understand when they get hit, it's like being in a car crash every time they get hit.
Wow, it's like he already has fish swimming up in there. Mm-hmm. Squishy little fish. That's what I always think of. Like,
so there's a guy, $100 million, can't afford a kitchen table.
Well, you got to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Brenton read Rich Dad, Poor Dad because his car's shitty. Every time I see someone with a shitty car, I'm like, they read that book. They get it. If you have a nice car, I'm like, you fucked up. You don't know what you're doing. You didn't invest correctly. And Brenton just closed on a house. He's got all this shit going. I have nothing. I had the experience of hanging out with 2 dudes that worked on the same show. They had the similar careers. One has a house in the hills, and one lives on pizza boxes. He lives on top of a pile of pizza boxes that I'm pretty sure I paid for.
Well, you got to understand when it comes to money, what do you really want? Like, I want a house. I don't care what my car looks like. And for the record, it's not a shitty car in the sense of...
It's cranberry colored one.
First of all,
it's a little crotch rocket.
In the sense of like I have it, it's trashed and it's not maintained. It's a very clean car. It's just a very modest car because I don't care what it looks like. I would rather have a nice house.
Listen, you're not out trying to get puss. You have a fiance. Yeah. You have your life together. If you were trying to get puss, I'd be like, Brenton, we got to go car shopping. We got to figure something out. I think you would have better luck on a bird scooter than that, to be honest.
I have seen a guy riding with an extra bird scooter and he went and picked up a chick. It was really
listen,
smooth.
They ride tandem. Bird scooters, this is what's hot about a guy on a bird scooter. He probably has insurance and he's into danger. Nobody should be riding those, by the way.
No.
They're fucking horrible. Abby, like one of the guys at the Comedy Store, had a broken arm and I had seen him on a bird scooter and I went, is that from a bird scooter? And he was like, yeah, like it is. Of course that's what it is. But anyway, you guys are cool. Keep riding your fucking bird scooters, whatever. Oh, that reminded me when you said football about I recently had my second post taken down for being inappropriate content. Now, I want to be upset about it, but I do feel like really cool. I feel like I'm in a club of cool people. All my friends who I think are funny have gotten a post taken down or 2. And so I do feel cool about it. But I was annoyed because the post was, are we going to be able to show it on here? Okay, so this was the post. So it was on the Today Show's Instagram feed. And it said, I don't know if you can read the caption, but I'll read it out loud for the people listening. I'm paraphrasing. I can't see it right now, but it's... this high school football coach with no arms or legs. Okay, that's fine. I almost lost my legs. Oh my God, the arm fell. Oh my God. Oh my God, Aaron, were you filming that?
No, I was on the post.
Okay, guys, when that post was up,
just
the
fell
arm
on
just
Annie.
fell onto me.
That's the guy.
Ow! And then just hit my glasses into my nose bridge. Into my nose bridge. Holy, what if I just got a bloody nose? Is that
the guy's arm?
This is the man's arm. No, he's never had arms. He's never had arms, which we'll also talk about. So it says, this high school football coach with no arms or legs gave a speech at the ESPY Awards that would bring anyone to tears. Okay, something like that.
Beautiful.
So it's gorgeous, right? So I wrote, now he has no arms or no legs for the people at home. He's in a suit and tie. He's sitting in his wheelchair. I would honestly call it's more of a pillowcase than a suit, but he's sitting there. They propped him up. He's propped into it, and he's on a stage. He's getting accolades. And so I posted it and I said, I found a typo and I crossed out coach. So it said, a high school football with no arms or legs gave a speech at the ESPY Awards that would bring anyone to tears. Now, I think that might be undeniably the funniest thing I've ever posted in my life. I knew it was a little mean. But sometimes the joke is so good that the joy it's going to bring others surpasses the meanness, because also, like, I felt like I had to do it. Sometimes I just feel moved. I had to do it. I tell a joke on stage about a guy that I went on an internet date with, who had a lobster claw hand, like his hand was fucked up. And I didn't want to do a joke about him. On the date, I was like, I'm not going to do a joke about this. That's horrible. I would never do that. But then he was like, let's go out to eat. And we walked down the street and he picked a lobster restaurant. I got to do the joke. The Lord moved me to do the joke. Now, he's a football coach, but he's a football. The Lord moved me to do the joke. So I posted it. A lot of people liked it. I lost some followers. But whoever flagged, this is what pisses me off. Whoever reported it, like, you're fighting someone else's battles, because we know he didn't report it, because of the whole being a football thing. And so it's these people fighting other people's battles. And to me, that's annoying. I used to work with kids with special needs. I've wiped shit off of teenage boys' balls. I've pulled tampons out of teenage girls' special needs vages. Like, I've done a lot of work with people with special needs, and I appreciate them as humans and people and equals. I don't see this as a situation of punching down. I don't like that term. Brenton, you know what punching down is, right? You've heard that?
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone's heard it. I mentioned it to someone else the other day and they hadn't heard it, but punching down is a term that I think Colbert came up with, but you can't joke about someone that's less than you. Because that's punching down. You can only punch up. And to me, that just is so arrogant, and it's just assuming that you're better than someone else. I don't think because someone doesn't have arms and legs, I'm better than them, or I'm more of this person or that person than them in any way. I think what I notice with working with people with special needs is that people ignore them. They don't look at them. They don't treat them regular. They don't treat them like a thing. And I think busting people's balls, which we think he does have balls, it's a show of endearment, a sign of endearment. I don't know. What are you going to do? People make fun of me all the time, and I don't have a fucking table.
If anything, making fun of somebody means that you see them as an equal.
Exactly.
You're not going to handle somebody with kid gloves. So you respect him more, which is why you make the joke. And that's the point of comedy, is to step on the line and see how far you can go.
Exactly. And Instagram said, you've gone too far, but I may have still snuck it up there somewhere. It may still be up there. I just think it's funny, and you're gonna let's just be funny. I also did that. Everyone's doing that old age app. I did it for Jean Bonnet, but no one really saw that. I made her an old lady.
I got another good one for you.
All right, let's hear it.
Diddy is being rumored to be dating 22-year-old Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter.
Ooh.
He's 49. And here's the fun part. You ready for this? She's also being linked to dating his 25-year-old son. So it's some daddy-son
It's more
action.
like pass Diddy, huh? Pass that girl around. Do you think that they know about it? I mean, I guess they both know.
It's in the tabloids now, so they have to.
It must be true if it's in the tabloids.
It has to be. People is commenting on it.
I wonder if what it is she's dating the son, but he's not famous, so they're trying to make it a story by also linking P. Diddy.
Well, they have a photo of them on a night out. They went out on a date. They're walking together. The son is nowhere to be seen.
Listen, I have hung out.
Unless he's chaperoning their dates.
I've hung out with my boyfriend's dads before. I will tell you this though. I had a boyfriend in college who we dated freshman year, and then his senior year, he majored in DJ, by the way. He did a independent study and he majored in DJ. Anyway, so he was doing a DJ show. He was giving his graduation DJ show, and his parents flew out for that. And he had a new girlfriend, but I still had a big crush on him, and I still loved him. So I was like, you know, stalking everything he did. And I went, and we were friends. And so I went to his senior show, and his dad goes, "Oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. We've been hearing about you for all these years. You know, you're so lovely." Like, just, he goes, "Do you mind coming over here? I'm taking portraits of all of my son's friends." And so I said, okay. And he took these pictures of me. He goes, "Okay, lean against the wall. If you could just arch your back a little bit," like giving me, I'm like, okay, thank you. And then 2 weeks later, I get a call from my ex-boyfriend. He goes, "You better come over." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, my dad sent me all my graduation pictures, and you're in every picture. My girlfriend's nose is in one picture." His dad fucking Love Actually'd me. Do you remember in Love Actually when he was supposed to videotape his friend's wedding, and then she was like, "Oh, I want to see the tapes," and it was just him zooming in on her because he had a crush on her. Literally, his dad, but there were no portraits. His dad took, I was 20, maybe 21, like took these, I'll post the picture. I had posted the picture before, I'll post it again, but it's the creepiest thing I've ever seen. His dad was so into me. And so, I don't know, maybe it's that type of sitch. Maybe it's that type of situation with Diddy. I don't know. I think that's weird, but I mean, whatever people want to do. I think it's weird when guys date really young girls. Just, I don't understand the conversations. I think it's fine. I was talking to someone, a female comic, and she's like, "I'm sick of it, and I want to date younger guys now. Like, now I'm not feeling," I'm like, I've dated younger guys. Some guy in my jiu-jitsu class was saying, he's like, "You should hook up with someone in this class." And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, why do you want older guys?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Why do girls always want to date older guys?" And I was like, "Because they have houses. They own houses. Why would I don't want to pay anyone's rent anymore. Date anyone young. Fucking all my guy friends can date young girls if they want. I don't give a fucking shit. I just think it's I just think the part of it, I'm like, what do you talk about? I guess maybe they don't like talking. They just want to bang. But then they have low T and their boners barely work too. So what's that about? I know you old folks. I fucking see you old dudes. You got low T. You got low fucking T. So what's the point? You just want to feel like you're still attractive? I don't know.
Speaking of low T and fucking, Jeffrey Epstein's under 24-hour surveillance now after an apparent suicide attempt in prison.
Wow. You know, I was thinking about that. How emo is it to attempt suicide? He probably could have killed himself. He's just trying to get attention, you know, like a teenage girl would do. He's just relating to his type. Yeah, that's so gross. So I saw that he had been injured, but they know that it was him attempting.
I mean, they think it is. There's conspiracy theorists out there that say he has dirt on the president and the former president. Ooh. And so maybe there's like something happening behind
that's
the scenes.
A fun story.
Yeah, but
yeah, he's gonna get killed.
Maybe.
Oh my God, that's the perfect crime too, because they'll just get an inmate to do it, and then they'll just say it was an accident in prison. Oh, this guy's gonna fucking die. Wow. Yeah. He's gonna fucking die. Well, whatever, fuck him. I don't want people to die, but that's so gross. I mean, the people he must, just the pictures you've seen with him with like Bill Clinton and all this, people, like, God damn. Now, what did they catch him on? It was sex trafficking?
Yeah.
And they caught, what do we know, like the ages of the girls or anything?
They were young. They were like 14, 15 years old. They were really young.
That's so fucked up. I really always thought everyone got diddled, and then I realized they didn't. I also thought everyone had a crazy childhood, but then I tell my stories and people look at me with such horror, and I'm like, oh, we all weren't molested.
Yeah, I wasn't molested. I had a really good childhood,
You're so molestable.
Annie. I know,
feel like
that's
when your
what's crazy
fiance has sex with you, it's molestation because of how little you look.
Well, that's why I grew out my beard.
Yeah. Oh, that's you growing it out?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh my God, it's stubble. I have more of a mustache than him. All right, what else we got?
Nancy Goodman, woman from Raleigh, is on video in a very nice restaurant in Raleigh yelling at two black women, saying that they didn't belong there, and ended up dropping the N-word. She's later confronted by the news. They went to her house and asked her if she would, if she felt sorry, if she's going to apologize, and she said, no, I said exactly what I meant.
And then she said another N-word. No. People are mentally ill, I think. That sounds like a mentally ill person freaking out. I just don't. All the women that call on the Barbie, they seem mentally ill. They seem like they have no clue that people are just the same. That we're just people. They have no clue. I bet you she would have flagged my football post too, that bitch.
Probably. And there was a man today in Montreal. He did the same thing to a mother and her daughter because they were speaking Arabic.
Ugh, people are so weird. They're so paranoid, and then how all politics are playing out is just making them more paranoid and crazy. I don't know. I think it's weird to have words that you're not allowed to say. But if you're going to say them because you stubbed your toe or something. Don't say them at a person.
Yeah, and the reporter asked her if she knew how offensive the racial slur that she said was, and she said, and I quote, "Yes, I do. That's why I said it."
Some people suck, dude. Some people suck.
But
you know what? She's going to be like,
fix them.
She's going to be, you can do and say whatever you want. You can, but you're going to have an unhappy life. That sounds like a paranoid person that is scared of people and afraid to see her equality with others. And I don't know, man. This lady sounds like a fucking kook.
She's probably really fun at parties.
She does sound fun at parties, honestly. I should set up with my uncle.
She would have fucked Train's road manager.
He was so little, too. I'm like, what type?
Nothing wrong with little guys.
I mean, they're fine. But do you think angry bagel shop guy is like this lady?
Kind of, but he's a different version. He didn't drop the N-bomb. I mean, he didn't offend anybody.
But did he call women bitches? The B word?
I don't remember now.
Everyone is so traumatized by their own shit, and they're going out and they're just unleashing. It's like, you need to get help. You need to work on yourself, because everyone has had horrible things happen to them, or things that don't seem horrible to other people, but that have really affected them. We get damaged when we're little by however our parents did or didn't, if they gave us too much or too little. And, you form this whole attachment around that. The way you operate in the world is based on that. But you have to get help, because if you're just this wounded person that's being triggered and all this stuff, you're an unsheathed sword just going around. You're just slicing people, you're just hurting people, you're just adding to their negative stories instead of just working through your own things. Because I had a time after the election, I was just hanging out with a bunch of lesbians. I was marching. I was just like, fuck dudes. I mean, I was molested, sexually assaulted, and I was raped in college. I mean, I had the trifecta. I don't want to brag. I've been incredibly hot my whole life. But all of that stuff, I hadn't worked on it yet, and I hadn't dealt with it. And I was so angry at my parents. I had so much anger. And there was a year where I was just like breathing fire at people, just so mad. I'm so embarrassed. I went on so many podcasts just like complaining and stuff and shitting on men and just like, what am I talking about? I don't feel that way at all. I feel bad for men right now. I think that people are being unfairly treated, and obviously there's some issues, but we can all talk about it. The goal should be I'm not a religious person, but we are all God's children is the best term I think I've ever heard. We're all in this together, and we should be focusing on that. If we were to pan back in space and look at the earth, like, we're all on that together, and it's a mess. But anyway, your triggers are your own responsibility. If you're triggered, that's something you need to work on. It's not okay for you to just lash out at other people, which is what I was doing. And luckily I was able to work on it and catch it, and I'm able to apologize and accept responsibility for it when I do it. I'm not excusing my behavior, I'm explaining my behavior. And I'm saying that to the other person, because when I do get upset with someone and I do get heightened and I am mad at them, when it's usually a thing that's just something I need to work on, if I tell them I apologize and I explain to them what's going on, that's me saying that I'm not going to do that again, that this is what's going on, and I'm being accountable for it, and I'm not going to do this again. It's not these horrible things happen to me. I'm a victim of this, and you should all change around me to make me feel better. That's not how the world works. And people are very angry. That little bagel guy, everyone's so pissed because they're taking everything personally, and they're expecting strangers to accommodate to them, and you're going to always be unhappy because they're always going to let you down. The safe space is fucking inside yourself, and the fact that no parents are teaching their kids that now is really, we're in for it, because all these kids are now, we need to form a safe space here or that. Someone was telling me they did a show, one of my friends did a show in some other state, and they said, this is a safe space, you can't say anything offensive or that, you can't say this or that. It's like, what are you talking about? That's not, you don't get to dictate what other people say or do. That's controlling an environment, and that's one, impossible, and two, very unfun. It's not a party I want to go to. Did you ever hear that they had a retirement party for men, a bunch of female comedians? They have a retirement party for men. They've done 2 of them. And all these female comedians that a lot of them have jobs, are working or making a lot of money, just still need to complain, still need to feel like there's a narrative where they are not being given as much as other people. It's really unbelievable. I'm team comedy, so I'm for anyone who's funny. I want them to keep going. I want to hear it. Like, I just, it's so crazy to gender it, to complain, to say you weren't given opportunities. It's bullshit. Especially as a woman, you're not given opportunities in comedy. As a woman in comedy, you're not given opportunities. That's not really how comedy works. That means you're not working hard enough if you feel that way, and you're not focusing on yourself. Anyway, this turned into a little bit of a soapbox, didn't it? But a retirement party for men.
Well put.
A retirement party for men. Hey, fuck you. You know who's a man? My brother, my dad. I have 2 brothers. I forgot one. My other brother. My nephews are boys. Like, half of my friends are guys. Bren's a guy. What the fuck are, like, this is such a crazy thing. All their husbands are guys. It's like, it's ridiculous. You're mad at Trump? You're mad at Trump. Okay, just say it. Anyway. Maybe address the person that diddled you or whoever fucking pissed you off. You got one person you're mad at. It's a specific person. Go talk to them. Have the balls to stand up for yourself. Get a little male privilege and not care about whether you're come off as being a good person or not. That's what male privilege is, by the way. Go get it yourself, and it's up to you. Take your power. Sorry, I'm mad.
No, that's
I'm
good.
not mad.
I want you fired up for this next part, Annie.
I'm not even mad.
We're gonna talk to a gentleman. His name's Orlando. I'm gonna read you his problem.
Okay.
I'm gonna read you his story. It's a little long, but it's pretty good, and we're gonna fix it for him.
Okay.
So Orlando reached out. He said, my wife and I decided to separate in May, but we're still living together until she graduates and gets a job. She doesn't want the house, but she wants me to give her all the money I make when I sell it. So his story is he first joined the Marines. He was sent to boot camp in San Diego, where he was a recruit. The Marine Corps, they employ, the most ferocious Marines become like the drill sergeants, and they're real assholes to these guys. He had to figure out how to do things he'd never done before much quicker than he'd ever done. Like, he had to make the bed in under a minute. Otherwise, he'd get in trouble.
My God, I haven't made my bed in under a month.
He had to do it in under a minute, or he'd get in huge trouble, and they basically torture him. So, you deviate from the rules at all, you get a verbal lashing accompanied by intensive training, like doing push-ups in the dirt until your arms give out multiple times, while loudly berated, and, this stuff is just demoralizing. So one day after a long, boring class of about 3 hours of weapon maintenance, we were scheduled to go to chow, which was lunch. This meant another long, boring class. Our drill instructor would get us in by 4x10 formation and literally march us from the lecture hall to the cafeteria. But before the march, the drill instructor would have us go to the restroom in order, platoon by platoon. And he goes on. He's telling me about, I think he's more complaining that this was just, he didn't think the Marines were going to be as hard as they were. Because it's a lot of that. And let's get to the juicy
So he's
stuff.
trying to say that he had a hard, he was working
very hard time.
Working hard for that
Yeah.
money in that house.
So he worked his ass off, and now essentially his ex wants all the money from the house. So,
And she's a student.
So he's wondering, what should I do in this situation? She's a student. I don't know how old he is. I don't know how old she is. They're probably pretty young. But
Yeah.
she is going to live with him rent-free until she graduates and gets a job. So he's basically supporting her, and then when he sells the house, she's going to take all the money.
Oh boy. All right, let's call him up. His name's Orlando.
His name's Orlando.
We've had some weird. What was the other guy's name? Something weird. We miss you. We love you. You mean a lot to us. Sorry for everything. He's ghosting us.
Hello?
Orlando. Hello?
Hello? It's Orlando.
Hey, this is Annie Lederman. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Not too bad. I just got off of work. I've just been cleaning up around the house.
What's your job?
I help veterans process claims for disability.
Oh, cool. All right. I like your accent.
Yeah.
This is fun. All right, so I heard a little bit about your story.
My accent.
Yeah, I heard a little bit. You sound like a nice little redneck. I heard a little bit about your story. And
Awesome.
so you're...
Yeah.
Okay, so you are living with your ex-wife. Are you guys divorced yet?
No, we're just separated now.
And you got married at what age?
22?
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
22?
you fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it's stupid.
No,
I mean,
I'm
you
just
know,
kidding.
I was young and in the military.
You're in the military. I know you guys get
so
married fast.
It's so easy to, like, just get swooped up in that shit, you know?
And then she is a student.
Yeah, she's about to graduate.
Okay, so she's about to graduate. What is her field?
She's going to teach.
Oh, she's gonna be a teacher? Okay. So then now the
Yep.
situation, as I understand, is so you own a house. You're now working with veterans. So are you out of the military?
Yeah, I'm out.
You're out. Okay, cool. Congrats.
Okay. Made it out.
You made it. Did you have to go into combat?
No, I did administration. So like I was in the Marines. I was in like the hardest thing, but my job just didn't. I mean, people who had my job went to Iraq and those places, but
you didn't have
mainly
to.
my job was to like get people paid and process orders and
Cool. Okay, how old are you now?
paperwork. I'm 36 now.
Oh, 36. Oh, you've been married for a while.
Oh yeah. We got like a family and everything. And,
Okay, you got kids and stuff.
But we just grew apart. It wasn't, there's no hate there.
Right.
You know?
And then but now you're still living together.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
No, because the stability of our children is really what comes first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Our awkwardness is just we've lived such fucked up lives. We can put that on the back burner anytime.
Yeah, and then how old are your kids?
One of the little one, he's 5, and then the oldest one just turned 13.
And do they know that you're separated?
Yeah. Or the older one, he knows. The little one, he's 5. So
Yeah,
I mean,
so he
he's
doesn't
just,
understand any of it.
As long as cartoons are on, he's good.
Cool. All right, so then the thing that you're not sure about is your house. What you're going to do with the house?
So the situation is that because I'm a veteran, I'm eligible for the VA home loan, which means I don't have to put down money for a house. Like when I go buy a house, I don't have to put money down.
Oh, cool. That's pretty
But
sick.
if we separate or get a divorce, she doesn't get that benefit.
Oh.
And of course, I want her to have a house as well.
Oh, you're so sweet. This doesn't sound like a problem. You're just sweet. You're just nice.
I mean, I'm thinking about my children. I'm not,
That's great.
The fact that her and I grew apart
Has
not
nothing to do
their,
with them.
you know what I mean? I want them to be in a house. I don't want them to be in an apartment.
Yeah, of course. And so are you guys planning on you're going to get a house and then you're going to just stay living in it together? Or is that what you're trying to figure out?
No. We'll both have separate houses and we'll live separate lives. And we'll share the children half and half.
Yeah, but so you want to try to figure out how to get her...
Well, she
situated in
wants...
the house.
What also happened is our house went on the market, we looked at it, and it went up like $60,000. It's worth like $60,000 more than what we paid for.
Cool. So then she wants you to give her that money because you don't have to put money down for your house.
Yeah, she wants whatever's left over. You know what I mean? Like the profit that's made off of the house, because she doesn't have to put down on a house. I do, or I don't have to put down on a house. She does.
But how do you feel? Do you think that that's the right thing to do, or do you want to keep that money? Can you guys split it?
Not all of it. That's
just split it.
Dude.
Just split it.
That's wild. Are you kidding me?
You
That's
can't
so
just
much.
split it?
Come again?
You can't just split it?
Well, even that's a little.
You think
I
that's
mean,
too
I
much?
would think
Well, it
maybe
sounds like you just
60-40
tell her,
maybe.
yeah, just tell her that. And she doesn't, she's like, no way.
And the thing is, with all of this whole situation, she hasn't really put her foot down with anything except this, which is weird.
It's money. I don't think it's that weird.
Well, when you take into consideration of all the other things
Right.
that come with the separation, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. So it's like,
for her to not put her foot down on other things, but this is like, okay.
right. So she's,
So I'm willing
do you
to
think
work
she,
with her.
yeah, but do you,
Because she's not,
right.
You know what I mean?
Do you think she's manipulating that though on purpose? She's like, I won't say anything
I
about
mean,
this and then do
she's a
that.
smart gal. I imagine I would be too. You know, like,
Yeah.
well, why not?
But legally, do you have
And
to,
I wouldn't hold that against her if she did. You know what I
Right.
mean?
legally,
That's
do
what
you
we're
have
all
to
here
give
for.
her, is there like alimony or what is it called?
No, she's not interested in any of that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I think you just stand
And
your
that's why I'm
ground.
like-
You're going to help her. You're not going to like let her be broke or anything like that. For the kids' sake.
And
you're
she
gonna-
really turned me into like from an ignorant military redneck to like I'm like super woke now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even though I'm Southern, like I'm like for like all the left leaning stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool.
And she kind of turned me that way,
Oh, she did? Cool. And then so,
which is cool though. You know? It's
yeah, that's good. And then you're going to get more pussy now.
cool.
You're going to get that pee when you're ready. Are you guys dating other people yet?
I am. She says she doesn't want to. I think she's a lesbian.
Oh my God. Yeah, the most woke ones are. You know what woke up
So the one
there?
time I lost.
I said the most woke ones usually are.
Right? That's right.
They love those
we were both
pantsuits.
raised religious.
Oh yeah, okay. And then, but you're not now, or you still are?
No, we're atheists.
Oh,
But
cool.
she's from DC, so she's like a little bit more, like worldly than I was. You know what I
Right.
mean? I was like very Southern.
Well, it sounds like you guys have a pretty good relationship, and you want to keep it intact, right? So you don't want to. You're not going to take all the money and tell her screw herself.
I mean, she's talking a big game now, but I want to wait till she sees me with some other girl, and the girl's going to look way better than her for sure. You know what I mean? Look, doesn't matter who it's with. I'm going to make sure that happens. Yeah,
Oh my God, better. Competitive. Yeah, you always want to win the breakup, right? Did she decide she
Or
wanted to
just wanna-
separate?
I mean, I don't care. I hope she finds somebody way better looking than me. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I don't want to. You don't want to step back. You know, you don't want to. I don't mind if she's stepping forward, but I want to be stepping forward too. You know.
Yeah, and do you think you're ready to?
Oh yeah, I've been ready for a while.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because she's a lesbian.
Unfortunately.
You're ready to get a straight girl.
I mean, I'll be looking at a chick.
Oh, you want to buy a chick too? You guys
That
just
would be
want
right.
you. Oh, okay.
But they're hard to find in the South.
Because you want threesomes. You know what? I just realized I actually was going to talk about this and I forgot. Everyone under 25 right now is bisexual. They're all bi. Did you notice
Right?
that? Every
Or
kid is
at the
bi.
very least, bi.
They're all bi. So I guess you got to try to date a 24-year-old.
My son came out to me when he was 11. I was like,
Oh my God,
okay,
that's
cool.
so funny. As bi?
Right on. I think he said, on for the ride. So I was like, he's young, let him, do whatever he wants, you know what I mean? Because you know what happens when you suppress that. It just gets worse.
Yeah, of course. He said he's bisexual or he's gay?
He said he's gay, but,
Does he seem gay?
no, he doesn't. He acts like a boy. That's the thing. He's
Yeah.
not like Mateo Lane or something.
Oh
He's
my
just like a dude.
God. Shout out
He's
to
in all the
Mateo. That's so funny. Yeah, well, maybe. Yeah, I think that is interesting because it is kind of it's almost trendy to be a little kid coming out as gay right now. It's cool. I mean, it's a cool shift, but
Yeah.
all that stuff's fluid. They'll figure it out.
It's,
when
certainly,
they-
it's interesting to watch, at the very least.
Does he seem to have interest in boys?
That's what he says.
Like
I
crushes?
mean, I don't sit there and scope him out with him, but I'm just he watches wrestling a lot, so.
Oh my God, that's so funny. I feel like you got your stuff under control here. You sound like you're consciously uncoupling like Gwyneth Paltrow and Chris Martin did. You guys are doing it well. I feel like with the money, that's what they said. They said they were consciously uncoupling. So they were having a good healthy breakup. Yeah. But I feel like with the money stuff, it just seems like you can't give up all your money. You need
Hold on. Go back to that term. You said
consciously uncoupling.
Whoa, that's a cool phrase.
Yeah, right. I mean, we all made fun of them when they said it, just because it's Gwyneth Paltrow and she's all goopy and annoying.
It's way better than what my parents did with that, you know what I mean, like on the run breakup and everybody's crying and it's a fucking mess.
Yeah, but it's good that happened because it showed you to not do that to your kids, right?
Oh yeah.
Like you learned from that. Well, it's good. It sounds like you're being responsible. I mean, I think I would just try to figure it out with her where it's like it's a fair break. And, you know, you're not screwing her over because you want your kids to have a nice house when they're with her, too. And, you know, you're going to have to save some money for your son so he can get some, you know, glittery outfits. And you got to get dresses for your boy.
But whatever he does, I'm going to be his number one fan, no matter what.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, of course. It's so weird when parents aren't. Like, what weird expectations did you have of this thing that wasn't even
you're giving your kid to the wolves when you don't.
Yeah, for sure. That's so sad. That's good. You sound like a good dude. What's your handle?
You can't control how your kid out. You know what I mean? Like how they turn out, but you can control their environment a little bit as a parent.
You want to protect them and you want to give them enough space. I would say. I mean, it's so hilarious for me to be giving advice. Also, you're talking to me about like houses and stuff, and I don't have a kitchen table. But
you'd be surprised. I bet if you got knocked up and had a kid like a year from now, you'd be like, it would turn your life around. Like that one comic chick who's like an old meth addict. What's her name? She has her daughter. She's a real good mom.
Oh, Jessa?
She had that really cool story on the Comedy Central thing.
I think you're talking about Jessa. Yeah, Jessa Ray is her last name, maybe.
She's like drink her own meth tea.
Yeah, I think that's who it is. I don't know her that well, but I'm pretty sure that's her. Yeah, she's funny. She's cool. Yeah, but no, I definitely, I have been flipping my whole life around, being more responsible, getting my shit together. Because I did ayahuasca a couple months ago, and in my trip, I realized I think I want to have a kid. So now I'm just kind of being more. Just kind of setting my life up more. I want to make sure if I end up not having a kid, it's not because I'm like a fuck up that can't have kids, you know, which is how I was maybe 1 year ago. And I was picking partners that I definitely like would not want to have kids with. I'm like, you know, and then I also have to look at that. Like, why was I dating someone who I was okay with the way they treated me, but I wouldn't be okay with them treating a kid like that. Like, I got to protect myself the same way I would protect a kid.
That's the key. I've seen so many moms fail over here in the South because they're just dumb. Mm-hmm. But you got to pick a good partner. Mm-hmm. That's what you shouldn't be looking for, like the guy that turns you on. You want to be like, is that guy going to be like at all the birthdays?
Well, that's what your lesbian wife said. She's like, this guy doesn't turn me on because he has a dick. But he'll be at the birthday.
He'll be at all the birthdays. Yeah. Goddamn right.
No, totally. Like, I do feel like that. Well, in my trip, too, I was thinking a lot in, like, tribe form. So I was thinking about my dad as, like, the king of my tribe and my mom and how they created us, you know, and then my brothers have wives and kids and stuff like that. So I was thinking about, like, continuing my tribe. It's like, who would I want to have a tribe with? Who would I want to be?
Yeah, and that's like the funnest part because you're like, I'm going to get to have a half me and half of this other thing.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's good. It sounds like you're handling your breakup really well. And it is a danger zone if you guys are going to fight over money. I mean, that is like I would be very cautious of that. And you guys should just be very open in your communication.
I would never like cross swords with her if it came to it. Mm-hmm. I would just bow out just because she's being so cool with everything else.
Right.
You know? I'm just like, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I am the one who does get the better benefits, but I gotta come away with something, right? I can't just take that whole L. That's crazy.
No, she can't have all of it. That's not fair. You just have to figure out what you think. It's your boundary, right? So it's what you decide and what you are comfortable with. And you're gonna be nice to her. You're gonna be sweet to her. I can already tell. You're not gonna screw her over. Yeah. It's not like you're like, fuck you get nothing, you know. And it's also your kid.
That would never be the point. Now, if I found her with, like, a black dude, like, in the afternoon, and they're, like, you know, just, like, something like that had happened, I could see maybe doing some crazy shit like that.
Your redneck came out hard.
Skinny dude, you know?
Your redneck came out hard there. Wow, someone went from woke to sleepy for a second there. No, I know what you're saying.
Any gentleman plowing my wife in the middle of the day would be like super upsetting, and I can imagine like, you know, like being like, you know what, I'm gonna screw this person over at every chance I get.
Yeah, but luckily that's not the case, and I bet you, just from what I've heard from you, you wouldn't do that anyway, even if that happened. And also, do you think that you're cool with this breakup because you think she's a lesbian and that you're gonna be salty if she dates a dude?
Yeah, that's not the problem. And black guys really don't look at her, so you know, kind of.
You're so funny. You're like, and she has a flat ass. But way to tell us she has a flat ass. But
she's a very flat ass.
That's.
I don't want to talk bad about her.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. But yeah, no. I think if you just have to be really, really, really honest with each other, you can't build up resentments around the money, because that'll be the end of this sweet breakup, right?
Totally.
All right, well, I don't know if I helped you. At least we got to talk about it.
Yeah,
I feel like you helped me. You really flipped it on me.
You're literally like the third person I've talked about it.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, good.
Yeah, my heritage is good at keeping things in, you know what I mean?
You're what?
I said my heritage is really good at keeping things in.
Are you Irish?
No, I'm a Hispanic. Like, I guess I reckon.
You're a redneck Hispanic?
Basically. Like, come again?
You're Hispanic?
Yeah, I'm Hispanic. I'm Texan. Like
I see, yeah.
my like northern Mexican, southern Texas border.
That's so funny. I feel like I remember your handle. What's your handle? On
Papa
Instagram?
Orland? On Insta?
Yeah. Maybe I've seen you. But that's so funny. You sound like you're like a ginger or something with your redneckiness. You sound redheaded. But
yeah, I'm super Latino.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I feel like I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about emotions and your inner child and all this shit, and guys really are taught to bottle shit up. I mean, not just obviously in this culture, but from
crazy,
culture.
right?
And it's so dangerous and it's so inappropriate.
Never let that go either.
And then
like to like your life.
And then everyone's so mad at men right now, and you're like, oh my God, they're not even allowed to cry. What are you doing? We gotta all of us have fucked up things. We gotta like work with each other. But it's hard, you know, like because you don't.
But I think it's like a cool time to be alive. It seems like society's evolving.
Yeah, for sure. I think that people need to listen to each other a little bit more, though, too. I think that there's a lot of like yelling outward and not. But I guess there's listening too. It's just a lot of. If people can step out of their victimhood and see that they have the power to turn their shit around and protect themselves and do all the stuff that they want for themselves and kind of create their own thing, I think.
A lot of people like being victims.
I know it's like really popular right now. So weird. I've been there too. I mean, I've done it. I've done it. I've been there, and it's just, you know.
I know it feels cozy in that little nook for whatever reason.
It does, and it never stops being dramatic, because if you look at the world like you're a victim and things have been harder for you, you will see it fucking everywhere. You will find every way. I have, you know, little triggers of that all the time. You know, like once a week I'll just get really mad and like, why don't these people do this for me or whatever? And it's like, you know what cures that? Doing something for myself. Like the minute I just get something done for myself, something on my to-do list, I'm like, oh, that's all I had to do.
But when you tell that to a victim, their response is like, now you're victimizing me. You're like, oh, I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah, it's just, and you know, everyone kind of has to get to it for themselves, but it's just hard. I don't really have that many people in my life like that anymore, to be honest. And I think it's because I don't do that anymore. I don't attract those people. I don't want to sit down and complain about how hard things are or whatever, because my life is fucking great. Like, everything's good. Yeah. I'm happy.
You're like, I got it under control over here. You guys have fun.
I mean, I try at least, you know. All right, well, thank you so much for calling in or letting me call you.
It was fun.
Yeah, man, it was great talking to you, and good luck with everything, and just stay open and honest, man. You sound very cool. I'm proud of you. Is that weird?
No, that's not weird. That's
you
cool.
redneck,
I appreciate it.
Hispanic.
I'm super stoked about your podcast. You're super funny, and I enjoy watching your Instagram posts.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to keep doing it. Stay tuned for more.
And your dental floss bit, like I watched it like 70 times in a row. I could not stop laughing.
Oh,
It's
thank you. I'll
crazy.
have to post that. I'll have to make it into, you know how everyone's posting their things now
I
with
was done.
with
That was my favorite
the
bit.
with the captions on it. I'll throw that up for the listeners who haven't seen it. All right, man. Thank you so much. Nice talking to you.
No problem. Thank
right,
you.
take
Take care.
care.
Bye bye.
All right. Well, I think we've done it. I think we did Meanspiration for the day, and I think we've seen a new avenue of what can happen with the show where it turns into other people giving me advice, because honestly, am I qualified to give advice? Who am I? I'm a fucking comedian. I'm a comedian because I literally couldn't have another job. There's not one other job I could have. So stay tuned. This is an ongoing process. And thank you, Brenton. Thank you, Aaron in the back. And thank you, Orlando. Pretty fun.
Thank you,
Hopefully
Orlando.
hopefully people like me. All right. Peace out, bitches.